Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. In this video, I'm going to be doing a landscape tour of a house that's fairly close to mine. Really beautiful piece of landscaping. I wanted to shoot this video a couple weeks ago. This was in full flower just 2 weeks ago. We've had some low 20-degree nights that have knocked all the perennials back. I had just not seen them home, and I didn't want to knock on the door. Happened to ride by here the other day. She was outside. I introduced myself, and now here I am to do this tour. It's still really beautiful. Beautiful stone walls around it. Beautiful plantings here. I'll definitely come back next year when all the perennials are back up and in bloom and show you this one again. But really beautiful landscaping. So let's get started walking around. So I was just standing over here, and we'll get to this part over here that's wrapped in that retaining wall. But right up in this area, I'll start here. There's a really nice multi-trunked crepe myrtle right there. There's a hydrangea paniculata right here on the property line. We've got a climbing rose right here. And here's a gold foliaged ABELIA. It's in a little bit of shade, so it's not as gold as it would be, so I don't know which variety that is. It looks like maybe kaleidoscope in all likelihood. Here's a LOROPETALUM that's also in a little too much shade, so the purple foliage isn't quite as purple as it would be, but it's still a nice looking plant, even in the shaded space. Here's some hydrangeas and lots of hellebores. You'll notice that throughout this neighborhood, these the shady spaces definitely just scream for some hellebores. Here's some a sable palm here. Maybe this actually might be a windmill palm, actually. It may have been knocked down a couple times, but it looks great in that space. And I'll make my way over to this side. Here's all the material in these buckets where she just cut it all back, where I just didn't get here in time. Here's another gold foliaged ABELIA right there. Look really beautiful. Right here is a tree-formed OSMANTHUS fragrans right here. Really a beautiful specimen of OSMANTHUS. It's like I say, it's been limbed up and turned into a tree. Right here are some boxwood. It's a single boxwood, actually. It might be an English boxwood. Usually I can smell these, and yeah, I think that's an English boxwood. There's a dogwood right here with some Christmas decorations in it. You see this beautiful retaining wall. I'll get out here a little bit so you can see it, and I'll show you another angle when I get to the other side. There's a maple that's been planted out here by the road. We've got some, like I say, a lot of the perennials have been knocked back. There's a ground cover rose there of some kind, more hellebores up in there. There's some MAHONIA. I'll walk up here on this retaining wall and show you this. These are about to flower, and these are great for the pollinators in the winter. Right there, MAHONIA. There's a NANDINA. It looks like just a regular NANDINA domestica, really. It's got the red berries on it in the winter time. There's several different varieties of SEDUM in here. Gold ground cover SEDUM. There's this Carex that keeps showing up in these tour videos I keep doing. See how bright they can make a part shaded space. And then there's some lamb's ear right there. There's a little path that comes through from a side door here. There's another Nandina, and this plant really caught my eye right here. This is actually a tree-formed KLEYERA, and I don't know that I'd ever seen a tree-formed KLEYERA before I saw this one. She's limbed it up here, and you see how beautiful that is. I don't think I'd ever seen one. I've covered a lot of different KLEYERA varieties this year, but like I say, I'd never seen one limbed up into a tree. It's quite beautiful, really. Let's cut up through here. This was a lot of perennials. You can see all these things that just got cut back that I missed. This thing was full of cone flowers and black-eyed Susans. There's black-eyed Susan right there as well. And then this is a gold stone crop right there, SEDUM. And there's still the black-eyed Susan or two hanging on. I just tripped over something right there and right there. And lots of lamb's ear. There's some sort of false cypress here. I don't know what variety that is. They grow a little more loose in these part shaded conditions, and sometimes I have a hard time identifying conifers when they've grown a little differently. She's got this beautiful FATSIA up in this corner. That's a perfect place to grow a FATSIA in Zone 7, right there. This is Zone 7B, and you're tucked up in a corner right there. That's a perfect example of one. It should bloom pretty soon too. It will bloom in the fall, in the late fall. Right down here are some firepower Nandinas, it looks like. And there were a couple of azaleas I missed right here. I wouldn't know what varieties they were. They got some buds on them. And so I don't know if they're encores that were trying to bloom here before it got cold again. There's some ground cover phlox I'm about to miss. These will bloom in February, super early. But these are firepower Nandinas coming around here. These will turn redder and redder as the fall comes on. And this is some sort of Hydrangea paniculata tree form here. I don't know what variety it is. It looks like an older variety because it's been here a long time. But there's the flowers, what's left over of the flowers. These also make good cut flowers this time of year. A couple of Mahonia coming up or right around it. And then there's a sweet box right there, which is starting to bud up. If I get a little closer, you can see right there along those stems. They'll have small white fragrant flowers on them in the late winter or early spring. There's a little bit of turf right here in the actual where the house, in the direction the house faces. There's some knockout roses on the corner, some other smaller growing. This is a very busy corner, as you can see. There's a ground cover phlox here that's much bigger, that's been there a while, you can tell. Let's get around here. There's a nice Japanese maple right here on the very corner of this. And then some more upright sedum. This is probably a fall, obviously a fall blooming sedum like Autumn Joy in all likelihood. And again, there's some more ground cover roses. I don't know if these are drift roses in all likelihood. There's one that's still trying to bloom. It was very warm recently, and so right before the cold. So a lot of this stuff, some of this stuff was just blooming weirdly. Like this dianthus has a few flowers on it, and it's an early spring flowering perennial, but it's evergreen like this, and that beautiful blue. It's a really nice blue color. Come back around here and look up this area. These are all black-eyed Susans here. Right here, there was some lantana, beautiful lantana that were hanging over this wall that she went ahead and cut back. But that variety is called Chapel Hill Yellow. There's some boxwoods that have been turned into small balls right there. But that lantana that she cut back is called Chapel Hill Gold maybe, and it's very reliable coming back. There's a daylily that was trying to bloom here right at the end of the season. This is probably an auto-looking laurel right here at the front steps, and a couple of azaleas right there. Another Japanese maple that's been planted here in the turf, and another variety of ground cover phlox. And there's a couple, I don't know if this is Het's U, probably right here, this upright one, but these are nice. They're framing the entry steps right there. Those are good looking U's. And then as we go further this way, there's irises, another knockout rose right there. More repeating some of the same things we've already seen. And then there's some gold mound spirea right there, and all over this neighborhood there's English ivy trying to sneak in here from the neighbor's yard. There's a camellia right here that is absolutely full of buds. Just needs some moderately warm days, and it looks like those are going to start opening. That's a Camellia sasanqua. She's using these osmanthus fragrans right here to screen, to create a border between her and a neighbor, and they're filling in pretty nice, but they always thin out down at the bottom. You can see that. And so these azaleas will, she's underplanted them with these azaleas, which will be perfect. As these get bigger, they'll take up that lower space. Here's what was definitely an encore azalea, because there's one or two flowers left on it. Don't know what variety, but there's still a couple flowers that were left on this one. Here's a beautiful Japanese maple here. I'll look up with the fall color right there. Just absolutely beautiful. And then back around on the front right here, we see another azalea and auto-looking laurel, another azalea, and these are repeating from the other side of the steps right there. I'm going to stand back from this thing and take a different view of it. So here's the front entrance with this beautiful stone wall. This is in a very urban space. I mean, you can hear the cars going around me constantly, right beside me and right behind me. Two of them just drove right behind me, but really beautiful entryway that has been created. So thank you very much for watching this landscape tour video. Like I say, I'm going to come back to this one in the spring or late spring, early summer and show you when this thing's in full bloom. It was solid color 2 weeks ago, and like I say, I just didn't get a chance to ask before that we got the hard freeze, but I think it's still beautiful even in a winter landscape like it is right now. So thank you very much for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for upcoming content.